Right now, right now. 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 Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We got to add a little addendum to the show map today. Shall we start here on the daily? Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been getting bigger. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's episode, we are going to be talking about the massive rally that Bitcoin is in the middle of and the massive rally that Bitcoin is about to resume. If you don't already know, Bitcoin has just signaled that it is ready for its next leg up. Over the last 3 days, we've talked about how Bitcoin had 3 different correction targets. Number 1, and our bearish case. Bitcoin could drop as low as 113 to 114 to fill the CME futures gap, backtest our previous uptrending level of support that was the neckline of the inverse head and shoulders pattern. Base case, Bitcoin could drop down to about 115 to 116, which would split the difference between our bear case and our bull case, and our bull case was a drop back down to around 116 to 117. Just as Bitcoin did last month, when we gave 3 cases, a bear case of $92,000, a base case of $95,000, and a bull case of $98,000, and Bitcoin hit our bull case, this gives us an early warning sign that a rally is coming and that the bulls are strong and that the bears are exhausted, which is an exciting thing to say when Bitcoin is just 5% off of all-time high, and that all-time high happened just a few days ago. I am personally very confident that Bitcoin is about to go through one of 2 scenarios, back to all-time high, and that gives us a great investment entry and a great long entry, and I'm going to be breaking down exactly what that looks like today. But before we get started, I do want to let you know that everything that we're going to talk about in today's stream, first and foremost, was posted in our trading group, the first cohort trading group, and if you want to see my technical analysis before anybody else, then the best place to go, I was so articulate, I was doing so good, and I said blessed. The best place to go is to the first cohort trading group with the link in the description box down below. There's 2 ways you can sign up. Number 1, you can sign up for the monthly plan. You can get 20% off your first month by using coupon code JEB20, or you can sign up for the annual plan and you can get the first year for free by signing up for 2Bit and depositing $100. I don't know how much longer I'm going to use this strategy. I don't know how much longer I'm going to allow you to get into the first cohort for a year for free just by signing up for 2Bit, because it's like a really good deal. You just deposit $100 on 2Bit, tell me that's where you're going to be doing your trading, and then you get the first year for free. That's a really good deal. I don't know how much longer I can allow that to go on. So we'll see. But for now, that's the promise. If you sign up for the first cohort, sign up for the first year, what we're going to do is we're going to rebate you the first year. We've been having a little bit of issues with this. People are signing up, doing the first year. They're like, what do I do? What I'm doing is I am giving you a rebate for the first year through PayPal, because we thought that we would just be able to hit refund. The button doesn't work because it would allow me to apply the discount to the next year. So what we're going to do instead is we're just going to rebate you the first year. So sign up. I'm going to send you back the money for the first year, because that's just the way that it's going to have to be while we develop the web, the web design behind the scenes that needs to be done for that kind of promotion. But for now, if you sign up for the 1-year plan and you let us know in the support group, it's right over here. We've got a bunch of people there doing it, right here, a bunch of people over here that have signed up for the 1-year plan. If you sign up there, we will rebate you the first year of your first cohort membership. Really excited to see all of the people joining the first cohort. Really excited that you chose to take time out of your day to join this stream. And I was thinking we ought to do it a little bit like radio today. Good morning. You are watching the Coffee and Crypto live stream. 10 o'clock Eastern. Almost never, but that's our official start date. Brought to you by psychedelic drugs known as caffeine. Do you have your caffeine? Do you have your coffee? Are you ready to go? Are you ready to do some charting? Are you ready to make some money? Are you ready to rumble? I just blew out all of your eardrums. I'm so sorry. Let's try the... Are you ready to rumble? Are you? Let's do this. Miguel Rangel is in chat. I miss my calling as a hype man, dude. I ought to be the guy that walks out on stage before the boring guy that's going to show all the slides, and he's got the guy... And today you can say that I ought to be the guy that front runs that guy, so that people aren't, yawning. That I miss my calling as a hype man. You guys say I miss my calling as an auctioneer. I miss the dude that comes on stage before the boring guy. That's what I was supposed to do. All right. Crypto military vet in chat. Good to see you, my friend. Mark Allen's in chat. Kajun is in chat. Does anyone know when the 3 bills will be looked at today? Hopefully soon. I don't know the exact time, but hopefully soon. Shadrach Frost is in chat. Free Hammer said I lost him. No, I'm sorry. It's probably blew up his ears. Poor guy. Dave P is in chat. Christopher Ryans, Apine, Yard Dog, Bill S, Jose Vega, Philly Skills 1428. Hey, I appreciate it. Let's get started. We got a lot to cover. No more dilly-dallying. This is the chart I'm going to show you today. Very excited about this chart because there are 2 different possibilities. Either number 1, Bitcoin is currently in the middle of going through a major breakout. Or number 2, we're in the middle of a B wave in an ABC corrective wave that's going to fake all of you out. You're going to get liquidated and you're going to lose. It's hard to tell which one. We're going to be parsing that out today. Starting over here on the Bitcoin CME futures chart, we have a CME futures gap, a big one, right here between $14,300 and $15,700. Is Bitcoin going to fill it? That's the question. If Bitcoin does fill it, then that means what we're witnessing right now is a bull trap. If we don't fill it, then that means that what we are doing is actually going back towards all-time high as we speak. Now, I am not the kind of trader or investor where I only make money in one area. There's this thing that you may have heard about. Most of you guys only know that you need to trim them, but when you're in the investment world, hedging is something that is very important, right? If you're middle class, hedges mean those really annoying bushes that you have to maintain and you're a slave to them because you're always having to cut them. If you're rich, hedging means you are ready for whatever happens. I am ready for both of these scenarios, and I've made plans for both of them. I bought about $25,000 worth of Bitcoin down here on the idea that Bitcoin may end up going through a big rally and being done with being down at $117,000. It's very possible. It's very possible that Bitcoin bottomed out. And because it's possible that Bitcoin bottomed out, I hedged against the possibility that we're about to talk about. And I'm glad it did, because honestly, I'm starting to lean in the direction that Bitcoin's not going to fill the CME futures gap, but we'll get to that in a minute. So let's back up. Let's have some structure to our analysis. We're going to start with a quick overview of where Bitcoin is. Second, we're going to talk about the possible correction. Third, I'm going to talk about why that correction is less likely to happen right now. And fourth, we're going to talk about where we're going from here. Let's start. Short-term technical analysis. Bitcoin about a week ago broke above all-time high, went on a major rally. And if you'll remember, just a few days ago, we said that this correction is different. We actually traded this breakout live in the trading group. A couple of you guys traded with me and made some money. We made about 23% on that entry. We were very excited about that. Bitcoin moved a grand total of about 2%. We made about 23%. Was very excited about that. We ended up getting an entry right around 120, 170. Got our average exit at like 121.5, 121,500 or so. And I told them that night in the trading group, and I told you guys the next morning on stream. Now, notice you got the information late because you're not in the trading group. You need to join the trading group if you want to see my up-to-date technical analysis. But I said that this correction looks different. You could see how we were dropping pretty hard right here, because what happened is, and I could go back and show you the receipts, but I'll just tell you in the Discord, I originally up here entered a 5x long with a small portion of our portfolio. I almost immediately closed it though, because as soon as I did enter that 5x long, I realized, because I was just like, we'll just play the trade all the way up here to like 130. But as soon as I did, I realized something. Bitcoin has added $250 billion of valuation just by moving the 10% here. And what ended up happening is that Bitcoin had this sharper corrective movement. This was sideways correction. This was an actual steep correction. So we predicted that Bitcoin would go through a correction back down here to at least 120, if not lower. And then the next day we realized there was a CME futures gap down here, and we said we could go as low as 114. Our prediction on Monday, is that Bitcoin will bear case go down here, base case go about right here, bull case go about right here, more or less. Bitcoin so far is fulfilling the bull case. It's not dropping as low as it could. There's every reason in the book that Bitcoin could drop down to 113 to 114. It's the previous all-time high. It is the uptrending level of support of the long-term inverse head and shoulders pattern. It is the CME futures gap. There's every single technical explanation for why Bitcoin could drop down there, but it's not. It's not dropping down there, at least not yet. What Bitcoin is doing, however, is Bitcoin is coming up and testing this resistance right here. If you look at the resistance that we were testing back here, we had resistance at $119,500 right here. And then we had resistance for a couple of hours at 120, but 120 actually broke pretty quickly. We were doing our trading right here on this movement. right? This movement. Then I went to sleep and all this happened in the morning while I was asleep. But we traded this little breakout right here. This little movement right here. 1%, you made 25%. It was great. It was wonderful. But the actual resistance that Bitcoin was tangling with was 119,500. And Bitcoin just broke that. Like, as we speak, Bitcoin just broke that. We used that as resistance to get up here, and we used it as support that we broke beneath. It's obviously an important level of resistance, as it was our resistance that we were setting at 6 p.m. or 6 a.m. this morning. And Bitcoin just broke it. We also have kind of an inverse head and shoulders pattern here, but the right shoulder never formed. This is the kind of pattern that we see when Bitcoin is starting to make really good, strong headway. So, short-term context. Went through a breakout to 123. We set important support and resistance at 119.5. That resistance is currently being broken. Now, I want to talk about the possible correction down to 114, and then I'm going to prove why that's the less likely of the options. If Bitcoin does stop out here, then a drop down to 114 makes sense because we would be essentially going through an ABC corrective wave. This is what we talked about in the Discord server earlier today. If you were in the Discord, you would have seen this before we went live, this exact chart right here. If we drop down to 114, invest. Why? Because we're bouncing off of the previous all-time high. We're probably going to rally up to 140 off of there. If we drop down to 114 and then we break through this exact level, then we long. If we break through 119.5, but here's the sauce. Okay, that's the second part, right? We talked about the first part. Remember, got 4 pieces here. First part, we're looking at short-term context. Second part, we're looking at the argument that we could drop back down here. We'd fill the CME futures gap. It would be a good price target for this shorter-term inverse head and shoulders pattern right there. It'd be a back test of the uptrending level of resistance that we used for months to build the inverse head and shoulders pattern that sent us here. And then it would also be a back test of all-time high. That's the second point. Third point, why do I think that's not going to happen? Well, the reason that I'm starting to lean in the direction that that's not most likely is because if you'll see to this chart, where did I say to go long? I said to go long if Bitcoin breaks 119.5, because that's our resistance. But guess what? Bitcoin's doing that right now. So we have to ask ourselves a big, big question. What happens here? As you can see, Bitcoin's having a fight. There's a lot of sell orders. Look at this wick. You see that? This is the resistance we're looking for. If you're in a long trade right now, you're too early. If you're in a short trade right now, you're too early. We don't have enough information. We don't know whether Bitcoin's going to break here or not. We don't know. If you're going to go into a long trade, I would wait for 120 to break. Why? Because at that point in time, we're 0.5% higher than 119.5, and it's the psychological big even. If you break 120, all bets are off. You're probably going back to all-time high. Here's your entry. Long entry somewhere right around here. Tight stop loss. Exit up around 123. Or, and this is what I would do because I like to take exits early as much as I can, you might take some exits right here around 120,500 if you entered right here. Make sense? That's if we break 119.5 and then we go on to break 120. But you're not in that long trade yet. If you are, you got in too early. We don't have confirmation that we're not going to go down to 114. We're real happy because we got this reversal, but it's not confirmed yet. There's strong resistance right here. And so what we are doing right now is Bitcoin, as we speak, is deciding whether or not this cup and handle formation, can you see that? Do you remember the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy? Have you been through it? We're seeing whether this cup and handle formation right here is going to break us bullish. Hopefully this is like making sense. Whether this is going to break us bullish up to 121.5, which is once again right around that Fibonacci retracement. See that right here? Boom. Cup and handle price target. I know we're getting a little complicated here. Cup and handle price target pointing us to the 0.786 Fibonacci retracement at 121,600. Are we going to break there? That's the question. We don't have the answer yet. Right now it's looking like Bitcoin faked out. Some of you guys just went into longs, got liquidated. I'm sorry. Better to get a smaller profit, but actually make the profit and get liquidated. I'm not in long right now. You shouldn't be either yet. And I'm glad I'm not. When we were doing this trade the other night, I said, hold. Who's seen that new Carvana commercial? Jeb could convince a caveman to buy Bitcoin. I'm trying, man. Who's seen that Carvana commercial? The really catchy one. Hold. You know, the ladies like, the guy's like, I want to sell the car. And the lady's like, hold. You know that one? It's like really dramatic. About to, Carvana. I thought they went bankrupt. I don't know how they're still doing advertising. I don't know. Zombie company. We got a lot of those. Anyway, the lady's like, hold. That's you. Hold. You're the husband. I'm the... Hold. We're not ready yet. It's not ready to long yet. We're not ready. We weren't ready back over here until we broke 120. We're not ready right here until we break 120. Cool. All right. Good deal. Here are the two scenarios. Number one, we're building a big old head and shoulders pattern with a a neckline at 117 that's going to drop us all the way back down here towards previous all-time high. That's what happens if we reject here. We just built the right shoulder and we drop back down to 114. Too late. Too late. Too late. Too late to be entering into a long. If you're in a long right now, be careful. That's all I got to say. If we reject here and we don't break out, then we fall over to at least 115.8, if not 113. So don't be surprised if you see those levels again. It's real exciting. Oh, the chart's moving up, 119. That must mean we're going back to all-time high. Not necessarily. People get tricked all the time because they're not following the technical analysis. You got to pay attention to the technicals. All right, so what do we do here? If and when Bitcoin breaks 120 again, there is an excellent arbitrage opportunity between where we are and where Bitcoin will go. If Bitcoin breaks 120, which we failed to do, but if Bitcoin breaks 120 with confidence, especially if Bitcoin goes up here and hits its head against 120 for a while, like down here on the minute chart, or even, this is why I love TradingView Premium, the 5-second chart. If Bitcoin comes up here and just smacks its head against 120, which by the way, we didn't even hit 120. Bearish. This is a bull trap. Be careful. Not ready to long. Not yet. Maybe soon. Not yet. We didn't even hit 120. Bears are strong. Remember, the invading army is coming. It's attacking the city walls. The defending city is so strong that the invading army does not even lay a finger on the wall. Can those conquerors take that city? No, they can't even touch the wall. Now, if it's like World War Z and you got a billion of them sitting up there against the wall, what's going to happen? The wall's going to fall. You've all seen World War Z. You know what I'm talking about. They got so high, they grabbed the helicopter, right? If that's what the bulls are doing, then yeah, the resistance is going to break. This is real simple stuff. People overcomplicate it. If 120 is the resistance and we're just going to boom, 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 what's going to happen? It's going to break. But if we can't even touch it, is it going to break? No. Make sense? Hope so. 120 is our entry. Sorry, 120, 100. 120, yes, 120, 100. $120,100. That's where you put the entry, not here. And you don't put the entry there on a limit order and ignore it. You watch it and you see if the market has volume and momentum. If we bounce off of 118.8 and we just slam right into 120, we just boom, blast right past it. Okay, yeah, that's a great time to long. But if we're just kind of like, yeah, you need to have confidence. Whether we break through 120 right now or we break through 120 in a week, the break above 120 is where the long goes. And that's what we were talking about in the Discord server over here. Here's the chart. Here's my post. Invest, long. You break through 120, you long. The lower we drop here, you invest. And by the way, if you're really, really, really fancy, I'm not going to join you in this trade because I don't like shorting Bitcoin. But if you're really fancy, what you can do, let's go ahead and delete all our drawings. What you can do is you can say, look at this uptrend, Jeb. If Bitcoin breaks this, then that probably means that this rising wedge is going to break bearish. Guess what? Points back at all-time high. This is really, I mean, you see it, right? You do see this. Bitcoin's in this range. If we break bearish here, you could open a short right here. If you break below the 1 hour 20 EMA, you could open a short there. And you could pull a trade kind of like this. You could do that. Real tight stop loss. You could pull something like this. That's possible. You better be careful. I don't like shorting Bitcoin. I will probably not join you in this trade. But to be honest with you, there's a very high likelihood that if we break below the 20 daily exponential moving average, that this trade will make money. I'm not sure I want to take that risk personally. But for some of you guys, you're looking for anything, that is a possible entry. If Bitcoin breaks above 120, then this is not a bear trap. If Bitcoin does not break above 120, this is a bear trap and we're heading lower. That's the call. Let me just go ahead and make a chart of this. We're going to put it up on Twitter. We're going to do some tweets together. I like doing this so that I've learned over the years I need to document my calls because people will misquote me if I'm not careful. Bullish. Bullish to 123K. Bearish to 114K. There's your decision. Decision. There's your decision. There's your decision. Let's make sure this is really, really, really easy to see. I'm going to pull that fib. Drop that level of resistance right there. 0.786 retracement. We're going to put some text on here. Make it a beautiful chart. 0.786 retracement. Retirement. That's coming later. That's based on if you invest or not. We're going to put that on the left. We're going to make that, actually we're going to put it in the center. We're going to make that a 24 size text. We're going to make it bold. We're going to make it 20. And we're going to give our exit right there. And that's what we're looking at. That's what we're looking at. That's the way I'm seeing this. You guys tell me in the chat. Do you agree? Do you disagree? But we're going to go ahead and take this. And we're going to put this puppy on Twitter. Because that's where I think we're going. Boom. Let's do it. Let's do it. I love doing technical analysis with you guys. If you're enjoying this, make sure to hit that like button. Let's go ahead and get this up. All right. If Bitcoin breaks 120K with confidence, we're in a rally and will likely return to ATH within 1 to 48 hours. If 120K does not break, then a CME futures gap fill, including a retracement to 114 to 115K, is most likely. A break above 120K presents a long opportunity. A break below the uptrend of the rising wedge and the 1 hour 20 EMA presents a short opportunity. All right. There's our analysis for the day. Let's go ahead and pin that to our Twitter. That's what I think is going to happen. You break above 120, you're rallying back to all-time high. If not, you're getting a drop. So, which is going to happen? I don't know. Jeb, what do you mean you don't know? I came here because you know. I don't know. Do you? Do you know someone who does? Really? Wait. Did you find a hot tub that, like, goes to the future and comes back? Do you have a DeLorean? I know a guy with a DeLorean. I'm not kidding. This dude literally has a DeLorean. He's also got a Batmobile and a mystery machine. But that dude doesn't have an actual time machine. He just got an old school DeLorean with the flux capacitor and the Mr. Fusion on it. Thing doesn't actually travel in time. It just travels down the interstate looking dope. I don't know anybody with a time machine. Do you? I don't know for sure what's going to happen, and neither do you. So don't be like, Jeb, you were supposed to know. What I can tell you is what to do no matter what Bitcoin does. That's what you're here for. A lot of people are like, oh, I need to go find a technical analyst because they think I'm going to start doing palm readings. Oh my goodness, look, I've got an M on my palm. Can you see that? Like, I've got an M on my palm. That predicted that I was going to get married. I got one over here too. MM, McAfee Media. It predicted the name of our company. Woo! Reading the tea leaves, guys. I'm not a psychic. And by the way, they're not real. Or if they are, they talk to demons or some crap. Nobody knows the future. That's not a realistic expectation on me or on yourself. Because some of you guys are like, man, I got to get the call right every time so I look really cool at the water cooler. You know the only call that you're almost certainly going to get right every time? Bitcoin to $1 million. There are things in life that you can be sure of. Jesus Christ is the Messiah. The sun will rise tomorrow. You cannot be sure of what tomorrow holds. And if you don't believe me, ask Jesus. Because he said not to go into a city and say we're going to do such and such business because you don't know whether tomorrow's coming or not. What we do know is that if Bitcoin follows certain patterns, then we have a certain likelihood of Bitcoin doing a certain thing. And what we can do is we can prepare for both scenarios. Right now, if you're on the hour chart, you should not be going into a trade because you don't know which direction the market's going to go yet with any confidence. That being said, if we break this uptrend and we break 120K, then we're most likely going back to all-time high. That's where you get enough confidence that the risk to reward ratio makes sense. This has never been about certainties. This has been about risk to reward. I have bet the vast majority of our net worth on Bitcoin. Why have I done such a foolish thing? Because 5% of the time, something crazy happens to Bitcoin and it dies. The other 95% of the time, it goes to $1 million. Michael Saylor said it best. It's either going to zero or it's going to $1 million, and I don't see it going to zero. It's either going to zero or it's going to $1 million. It's about that simple. It really is one of the two. So I'm willing to bet 80%, 90% of our entire net worth on Bitcoin's long-term gain. When Bitcoin breaks above 120K, this uptrending level of resistance has a bounce here, forms a cup and handle formation, and breaks through all of its final resistance before the all-time high, then that's where I can say, yeah, I'm confident enough it's going to 121.5 to go ahead and, do a 20x, 30x entry. Could I get liquidated? Or could I get stopped out, rather? Yeah. But more likely than not, again, a game of statistics and probabilities. Who's been through the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy? Let me get a 1 in chat if you have. You remember all these lessons. I've been teaching them for a decade almost. When you go through the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, right? By the way, it's on discount over here. And that discount ends tomorrow, by the way. Tomorrow's the last day for CT2A. But when you went through CT2A all those years ago, those of you who have been in CT2A for a long time, do you remember me talking about the strength of the bulls and the bears, the strength of the resistance and support, a game of statistics and probabilities, risk and reward, how to enter a winning trade? We do not, Shadrach Frost giving us a hashtag CT2A for the win. CT2A is a great, great, great academy. You guys are loving that. Absolutely. Make sure to sign up for CT2A with the link in the description box down below. It'll already have coupon code JEB20 pre-applied at checkout, so you won't miss out. We talked about all this. Oops, sorry. Let me get the page up so I can show you the link, the classes. But anyway, the point is, we've got to get the game of statistics and probabilities right. If we break through 120, the probability is that we're going all the way to 121.5. That's something we can trade. If we break this uptrend, then the likelihood is we're going down. Jeb, I came here so you can tell me where we're going. I personally am leaning in the direction that Bitcoin's probably going to break out. But I'm not going to make a call until I have information. You know what's funny? Like this, I did the same thing with the Lord Jesus. People are like, Jeb, how can you be so smart with technical analysis and all this other stuff and you follow Jesus? Well, do you think maybe I did my research on that too? Do you think maybe I investigated the claims of the cross? Yes, I did. A lot of it. I did a lot of research. My heart is what saved. My heart being changed is what saved me, not my intellectual knowledge up here. But I investigated that. I look for facts and evidence and data. Before I was a Christian, I said, God, show me that you're true, and I will follow you for the rest of my life. I said that as an agnostic. I said, I don't even know if you're out there, but God, if you're real and you love me, you show me and I'll give you my life. And he did. Because I had evidence. I had proof of his love for me, right? We do this in every area of our life. We don't make a call until we have evidence because we don't want to look stupid. So, do we know exactly where we're going? Not yet. But time's going to tell, and it's probably going to tell today. Most likely today. Worst case scenario tomorrow. We're going to know which one of these directions Bitcoin's breaking out of. And it's our job not to predict Bitcoin perfectly every time. It is our job to say these are the two scenarios that can happen because there's always one or the other, and then be ready for both. So I ask you, are you ready for both? Are you ready to go into a long trade here? Are you ready to go into a short trade here? Are you going to take the short trade if it shows up? I personally am probably not, but I might. I'll think about it. I'm probably not going to because I don't like betting against Bitcoin. It's risky, especially in an uptrend. If we were in a bear market, it'd be different. But in a bull market, it's not my favorite thing to do. But if we break bullish here, I will probably be going into a long. And I will be going into that long over on our exchange partner, which is none other than 2Bit. If you guys have not already signed up for 2Bit, you definitely should. This is where we're doing all of our trading. I love trading on 2Bit. Absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal platform. I love trading here. This is where I do my trading. It's that simple. If you want to trade with me, then make sure to sign up right now. If you register, you'll get $50 for a welcome bonus. After you do your first $1,000 worth of trading volume, you can double that bonus. Get $100 just like that. Just deposit. You'll get $50. Trade $1,000 on perps, and you will get to double that bonus. Now over here, if you deposit $100, you'll get $30. So here's what I want you to do: go to the link in the description box down below. Sign up for 2Bit. Deposit $100. You're going to get $30 for doing that. You're also going to get the first year of the first cohort for free. You get the first year of the first cohort for free by depositing $100, and you get $30 for free. You just turned $100 into $500 because 1 year of the first cohort is about $419, and you got the $30 here. So you turned a $100 deposit, which you get to keep the $100. It's still your money, into $449 worth of value by getting $419 1 year subscription to first cohort for free and $30 over here. Then you'll also get $50 on top of that. And when you trade, you get to double that. Talk about a return. My goodness. You're getting so much value because you sign up for 2Bit and trade with us. So make sure you do that. I highly encourage you to sign up for 2Bit with the link in the description box down below. If you sign up, deposit $100, then you're going to be able to get access to the first cohort for a year for free. I'm probably going to be changing that promotion, just to be honest with you. It's probably going to end up being like the first month for free because we're just giving away thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of value when you calculate how many of you got. We've had like, I don't know, 8, 9 of you guys sign up for the yearly plan now. I got to refund all of you or rebate all of you guys today. But I'm just giving away thousands of dollars worth of value for free here because I want you to sign up for 2Bit because it's a great exchange. So take advantage of it while it lasts because I don't know if that deal is going to stay for long. It's probably not, to be totally honest with you. All right. Let's read a little bit of chat. Proof isn't faith-based, though, right? So, what did Jesus say would be the proof of our faith? Our love for one another. Jesus is very concerned with proof. That's why he did signs and wonders. Jesus is very concerned with proving to you who he is. That's why he came to earth as a man and healed people and rose people from the dead so that the people that saw him would have proof that he is God and that he loves us. God invented the idea of proof. God invented the legal system. God is the one that invented the judicial system where you had to have a multitude of witnesses to prove that a crime happened because he's concerned with proof. Proof exists because we have a real adversary who's a liar. If the devil lies, then that must mean God tells the truth. And how do we know that the truth is the truth? Because there's proof. Faith is belief in things unseen. But the devil has twisted that to mean that you just have to believe in Jesus and you have to believe in God without ever investigating the cross. The reason that the devil did that is because he doesn't want you to investigate the claims of the cross, because if you did, you would be a Christian. Because Jesus Christ really did live on this earth. He really did have an earthly ministry where he performed signs, wonders, miracles, rose people from the dead, healed people, and he really did die on the cross, rise again on the third day, and ascend into heaven, and is currently sitting on the right hand of the Father. And he proved it in front of thousands of witnesses. He is the most well-documented historical figure in the history of mankind. And the reason for that is because what he did actually happened. If you took Jesus to a court and tried to prove whether or not he is who he says he is, it would be irrefutable. Because you have more evidence for what Jesus did. You have more proof for what Jesus did than you have for any of the emperors of Rome. For any of the major figures throughout history. For more proof for what Jesus did than what Alexander the Great did. More eyewitness account. More verifiable testimony. You know why? Because Jesus is concerned with proof, and you should be too. Don't believe something unless they prove it. I didn't believe Jesus until I saw the proof. My love for him is not based on that proof, but I have a conviction that you have seen for years on this channel. Why? Because I looked at the proof. What's the proof? The Gospels. What's the proof? The anthropological evidence. What's the proof? There's tons of it. Go read Josephus. Go read all these. I've done it. Go read all these documents. There's proof. And in technical analysis, we should also have proof. What is our proof, or at least our evidence? So, Shadrach Frost said, and he's coming back. Amen. Jesus Christ is coming back because he's true, and everything he says is true, and he said he was, so he will. And I will be with him, and I hope you will be with us. Me, Christ, and the church. When he comes back at the end of the tribulation to defeat the devil. The evidence, it's not proof because we don't know, but in this, the evidence of a break to 121.5 is a break above 120. The evidence of a drop down to 114 is a drop below the 20 exponential moving average and a drop below this uptrending level of support. Follow the evidence. A true Christian will never be scared of telling you simply, go study the cross, follow the proof, and go wherever it leads you. Johnny Cash once said, no one that, I forgot how he said it, somebody will have to help me here, but no one who ever investigated Jesus with an open heart and an open mind didn't wind up becoming a Christian. Because he's real, and because he's true, and because he loves you. Follow the proof. If I can do one thing in this stream, this is the last thing I'll say, and we'll get back onto the TA. If I can do one thing in this in this stream, is to convince you that it is a lie from the pit of hell that you shouldn't investigate whether Jesus Christ did what he said he did. It is a lie from the devil, and I hate that lie, because I've seen so many atheists think that that's the truth, and it's misinformation. Investigate. Do your research. Put Jesus to the test. Say, Jesus, if you're who you say you are, prove it. Say it with respect, because he's God, but do it. I dare you. I did. I'm glad I did, because I'm a Christian now. Say, Jesus, if you are who you say you are, show me. I dare you. Watch him. You say that with an open heart, and you mean it, and you sit there and you wait, and you let him do it in his timing, in his way, because he's God and you're not, and you will see. You will. I did. Because I was humble enough as an agnostic to realize I could be wrong. God, if you're real, then if you made everything, then clearly you can convince my little self. So have at it. Convince me. He did. He's not scared of that. Just show some respect. He's God. All right, let's keep moving. What a great question, JH. Oh my gosh, what a great question. And please don't take my fervor as an attack. I'm so glad you asked that question. What a great question. That so many people have been lied to. That faith means you don't investigate. Bah, humbug. Faith means you trust. Doesn't mean you're not ever going to get an answer. It means you might not get the answer when you want it. Make sense? All right. Let's see. All right. Looking like noon. U.S. House to vote on Bitcoin and crypto bills in 3 hours. Cool. That's good. I was thinking they were going to try and do another vote today. Let's see. I love seeing you guys in chat. Jeb could, I love that comment. Jeb could convince a caveman to buy Bitcoin. I've been doing it for a long time. I love convincing people to buy Bitcoin. It's so funny. Every time Bitcoin sets a new all-time high, my entry just gets funnier. I got into Bitcoin at $2,900. I found Bitcoin sub $3,000. I remember telling my dad, because I was 16, I said, Dad, if you'll just... Because I didn't have any money. I'm 16. Legally can't even hardly work yet. Didn't have a car, nothing. I'm about to start senior year in high school, right? I said, Dad, just give me $10 a week. Just give me $10 a week. Just give me $10 a week. $40 a month. That's all I need. We'll be rich. I'm so glad I did my research. I looked for evidence. I looked for proof. And then I put my trust in an asset called Bitcoin that I thoroughly vetted. Thoroughly vetted. Jeb, while you're at it, explain the gospel message. Sure. Jesus Christ is God. He is Lord of all creation. He created the heavens and the earth, and he created you. And he created you to be in relationship with him, because there is a Jesus-shaped hole right here in your heart, and you're trying to fill it with sex, drugs, money, video games, Bitcoin, career success, spouses, kids, travel, vacation, fancy watches, cars, whatever. And I will tell you, as somebody who has made a lot of money in my life, none of that will fill that hole entirely. It might fill it a little bit. You might think, oh man, this is great. I love this. But you will always say, man, there's something missing here. There's something missing here. We can talk about the proof of the gospel all we want, but here's the truth, because nobody comes to the gospel just up here. It's got to be in here. The reason that I'm a Christian and the reason that you should be also is because Christ designed you to be with him. Ever since the garden, we have not been with him. We've been on our own, doing it our own way, failing over and over and over, without a healer, without a comforter, without a God who loves us enough to come down off of his throne into creation to make himself in the likeness of man, to lower himself to our lowly form and die a death so that we don't have to take the consequence and the punishment for my sin and yours so that we could join him in heaven. You are a sinner. I am a sinner. We've both fallen short of the goodness of God. We both deserve to be judged for that. We both deserve condemnation from a holy God who is perfect and expects us to be, but we can't. So what do we do when God demands perfection? Don't believe me? Matthew 5:48. Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. It doesn't get any more clear than that. God demands perfection of us, but we can't do that. So what do we do when the standard's up here and we're way down here? Christ came down, took the consequence for our sin. Every time we were imperfect, he took the consequence instead of us, put us on his back, and brought us into heaven with him. Oh my goodness. And we dare spit in his face? We dare spit in his face and not say thank you for saving us from ourselves? That's the gospel right there. Not that he's cast people into hell, but that we were already on our way there, and he saved us. Please give your life to Christ. Please, I beg you. Oh God, I beg you. Because one day I'm going to be with him in heaven, and I want you to be there with me. I want to meet you up there. I want to have a conversation with you in the millennium reign. I want to have a conversation with you in the new heavens and the new earth. Please, I love that. Please come with me. Please come with the church. Please. I gain nothing by you being saved whatsoever. In fact, it cost me because people are tuning out. People aren't going to buy our products. People are going to tune out. We're going to lose audience retention. It cost me something to preach the gospel on the stream. Doesn't cost me anywhere near as much as the martyrs who have died for it. But there's a cost to me preaching the gospel. It's tiny, un pequeño, compared to what most people. But there is a cost. It doesn't benefit me anything for you to be saved. The only reason I want you to be saved is because I love you and because it benefits you. It does zero for me if you get saved. It does everything for you to do if you do. I have absolutely nothing to gain by preaching the gospel to you, other than I love you and I want to see you in heaven. And I want to see you succeed on this earth. The way to do that is by following the Messiah and giving him your life, making him Lord of your life, repenting of your sins, and trusting him. If faith is believing something is true without any evidence or in spite of evidence, then what is the evidence that faith is believing without evidence or in spite of it? Let me see if I got this question right. If faith is believing in something, if faith is believing something is true without any evidence or in spite of evidence, then what is the evidence that faith is believing without evidence or in spite of it? I think I see what you're saying there. Yeah, no, the fact of the matter is, faith does not mean that you don't investigate the claims of the cross. The way that you come to the cross is by investigating the claims of the cross. I've had to work through this with people who are like, oh, I can't ask God why. What a lie from the hell. What a lie from hell. You can't ask God why. Or you can't ask God what? My Father in heaven, I don't know who yours is, but my Father in heaven, I can go right up to him and I can say, Father, I'm real confused. Can you help me with that? I love you. I respect you. Your will be done. But I'm really confused. Could you help me understand, please? Why did this happen? We just lost a son 4 months ago to what seems like just a spontaneous heart attack that came out of nowhere. You think I didn't ask God why? Of course I did. But I also got down on my knees and I worshiped him and I said, your word says that you will work all things together for good for those who are called according to your purpose. So somehow, as awful as this is, you're going to make something good come of it. But can you help me understand? And he did. And he does. And he's continuing to. Faith is the assurance of things hoped, conviction of things not seen. That's right. Faith does not mean that there's no evidence. Faith means that even when you don't see the evidence, you know it's there because of everything else you've seen. When I don't understand why I lost my son at 7 months, 14 days old, I understand that though I don't have an answer to that, I do have an answer to the cross. And the cross proclaims salvation. And that boy was too young to give his life to Christ, which means he's with him right now, which means I will see him again. So I don't understand this, what happened to my son, but I do understand what happened with Jesus. And because I understand what happened with Jesus, I can have faith about what happened with my son. Try getting through losing your 7-month-old son without Christ. Good luck. It's hard enough with him. But when you understand the cross, then you can have faith that if it was true then, it's true now. If you can give your life to Christ and you can root your understanding of all creation in the cross, then you can understand what happens through the rest of it. Oh, goodness. Christ Jeb or Crypto Jeb? I am firmly Crypto Jeb. My name is not Christ. That is Jesus' name. All right. Yard Dog said, welcome to the... Oh, yeah. Join the Jedi Grandmasters. Welcome. Welcome back, Rick. Appreciate you being here. All right. All right. So, got off on a tangent there. Good tangent, but a tangent. Bitcoin. If we break 120, I'm probably going into a long. If we don't break 120, we're almost certainly going to have a drop back down to 114. It's that simple. That's your TA for today. Simple. That's where we're going. So I highly, highly, highly encourage you guys to pay very close attention to what the markets are doing because there's a lot of opportunity here. Can we talk about alts? Yes, we can. Wishing you a long life. What a heartbreaking, what heartbreak to lose a baby like that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's not easy doing CPR on a 7-month-old. Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. Those kind of things haunt you. And again, I would not be here today. I would have gone freaking crazy by now if it weren't for Jesus. You try having your son die in your arms, and you have no idea why, because you have no understanding what in the world just happened. Just wake up and it just happens. Still doesn't make any sense. Autopsy reports back. Basically had a heart attack just out of nowhere. Seemingly. I mean, there's more details and stuff too. I'm not going to get into all of it, but you try having that happen to you. Try getting through that without Jesus. My Bitcoin didn't help me through that. Not a bit. When your son dies in your arms, and he's still warm, he's burning up, your Bitcoin's not going to help you. But Jesus will. I don't know how much more clear I can make the gospel message than that. Jeb, your faith being tested every day. And you know what I did? I've never told this story on stream before. I'm going to tell it right now. He rode in the back of an ambulance to the pediatric emergency center. We walked in. My wife was right here on my arm. I walked right past her. The entire ED was in the emergency, the big ICU room, whatever it is. I walked right past her. I walked through 50 people because they knew exactly who I was. I walked right up to the head of the table he was on. I got down on my knees. I put my hand right on his head, and I said, "You come back from the dead right now in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ." And I sat there and I prayed that for about 10 minutes. I commanded him to come back to life in the name of Jesus Christ because I have total faith that in faith we can move mountains if it's God's will. I will never have to wonder whether or not I had faith in that moment because I did. Don't let a situation like that happen and you not be prepared to walk into it with conviction, strength, and faith because you will regret it for the rest of your life. Give your life to him. Please. It's not just about where you end up in heaven. It's about down here too. Got heavy. Mm-hmm. There is talk about alts, the king Bitcoin, and the real king who is about to reveal himself very soon. Get to know him better. Yeah, you'll be glad you did. You'll be glad you did. My whole ministry, my whole business here is to teach you to do things you'll be glad you did. I'll tell you what, I'm glad I bought Bitcoin. I'm glad I have a bunch of Bitcoin. I'm a hell of a lot more glad that I have Jesus, because my Bitcoin did not bring me any comfort through that. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. Believe me, if Bitcoin brought me comfort, I'd be happy, because I put like $200,000 into Bitcoin after he passed. I just dumped a bunch of money into it. Zilch. No comfort. Not that I was looking for it. I was just making an investment because that's where the bottom was. I wasn't like trying to find comfort in it. But that brought me zero comfort. None. None whatsoever. Brought me zero answers. Brought me zero comfort. Brought me nothing. But getting on my hands and knees 2 days after he died, looking up to the stars and saying, God, you are just as true as you were before this happened. You are just as true now as you were when I gave my life to you the first day that I met you. And I will love you forever no matter what. And now I know that that's the case, because I will never go through anything harder than this again as long as I live. I know for an absolute fact that I'm yours, because I have not given up my faith in you, and I'm not going to. And I might fail, but you have given me a faith that surpasses all understanding, that surpasses any situation that you'll ever throw at me. And I now know, because of this test, that I meant it when I said that I was yours. Please, God, help me to actually act like it, because I still fall short every day. You're just as true now as you were then. You're just as good. You're just as loving now as you were then. You need that in your life. You need that. You need the ability to do that. You need to walk through life with conviction in things that matter. And you're only going to get that conviction if you put them to the test. Put Jesus to the test. I dare you. Look into his claims and see if what this crazy guy on the internet is talking about is true. It is. Han said, it happens sometimes. Jeb is a Christian, and so are some channel followers. But worry not, it's also mostly about crypto. Yeah, we don't talk about it this much. But again, yeah, no, we're off topic. I'm sorry. But again, let's talk about the cryptos, and we will keep on moving here. Bitcoin is 119, 170. Most likely we're going to break 120 at some time between now and the next week. We're going to do a quick recap before we wrap it out. Between now and the next week, either we break out here, or we come back down, we build an inverse head and shoulders pattern, Bitcoin breaks out here. Either the entry is here, or the entry is somewhere between there and here. Sometime through the rest of this week. Sometime through the rest of this week, we're going to have that breakout. When we do, that's a great place to long, in my opinion. Now, that can change. We'll see. We'll pay attention to the short-term technical indicators. But I think that a break above 120 will be very helpful. And I think it'll be a great place to place a long trade, long back up to 123. Now, let's talk about alts. Guys, I'm going to make this real simple. The alts are looking good. If you're going to get into the altcoins and you don't have Ethereum, you're making a mistake. Why? Ethereum is the only other major altcoin, that has ETFs. So a lot of them are coming, and some of them are kind of getting there. There's some of these ETFs that have like a bundle of them, and they kind of invest in Solana and XRP. So there is some exposure through the ETFs, but the exposure that you're going to get does not, like, there's a bunch of specific Ethereum ETFs. The Ethereum ETFs are likely going to be very successful, and a big part of the reason for that is because the Ethereum ETFs have already surpassed the gold inflows. So if you're getting into the altcoins, the best way to get exposure to the altcoins is through Ethereum. That's why Ethereum is so much larger than all of the other altcoins, because if you want to buy altcoins, you can basically just buy Ethereum and you're going to get exposure to a bunch of them, because most of the altcoins are built on Ethereum. So if they succeed, then Ethereum succeeds. Like, how do you determine whether or not a road is successful? Well, how many people drive on it, right? So if you look at the TVL, trying to make this something that everybody can do. If you look at the TVL, $130 billion of TVL, $75 billion on ETH. Look at this. All these protocols. You can go around and buy each of these individual protocols. That's great. It's like buying the trucking company. Imagine if you could buy the interstate highway system. Oh my goodness. Wow, what a return, right? In the first 24 months, Ethereum is at $10 billion of inflows. That's bigger than gold also. Wall Street's confident in Ethereum. And Ethereum is not back at all-time high yet. There's going to be a lot of money made in ETH. All-time high on ETH market cap was about $550 billion. It's going to go to $1 trillion. Ethereum's going to go to $1 trillion. It's not slowing down anytime soon. The DeFi is doing amazing over here. DeFi is doing incredible. $45 million of fees in 24 hours. It's phenomenal. DEX volume, 3.3 billion. Stablecoin market cap, $125 billion. Everything's built on ETH. Things are going to succeed. Other protocols here are going to succeed, but Ethereum's number one. Number two, my second favorite altcoin. I'm going to have to go with Solana. And the reason is because it's the next runner-up. It's the next biggest competitor to Ethereum. And now that Bitcoin's doing well, an alt season looks a lot more likely. Solana is going to do very well. It's going to melt faces here in a little while. Third one, I'm probably going to go with XRP. Lot of what should we say here? People kind of go back and forth on XRP. It's very controversial. That's the word I'm looking for. Very controversial. But with the SEC lawsuit being closed and with the amount of development build out going on it, Brad Garlinghouse, everything that he's doing, it's probably going to do very well. So here's what I would do if you're trying to invest in alts. What I would do is I would basically create for yourself one of two strategies. Either one, you just buy Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and just call it a day. Two, you build a weighted index of the top 20 altcoins that you most agree with. So basically, what does that mean? That means you're basically doing something like the S&P 500, but you're doing it with alts. So you're investing broadly across the altcoin space. Third, and finally, is you can start picking single alts. That's dangerous in the same way picking single stocks is dangerous. But if you invest in an index of the altcoins, you're probably going to do pretty well. And so that's something that I'm going to be looking into doing, is investing specifically in ETH, XRP, and Solana, and then in an index that tracks probably the top 20 or so alts. We have alt positions. I've been staying out of them, staying heavy in Bitcoin, but I am going to start building out altcoin positions too now. Because I do think that the alt season is coming. I think it's around the corner. Naturally, it's not here yet, but it is coming. And so I'm very, very excited to see that that's on the horizon. We're going to talk more about alts over the course of the rest of this month. I'm going to start building some more positions in it. And I'm very excited about those positions. So stay tuned. We've got a lot to come. So here's today's chart. You can check it out on Twitter. Make sure to sign up for the first cohort where we got access to this chart before this stream. So if you want to join the first cohort, look, Kirkpatrick just did. What's up, Kirkpatrick? You probably just joined from the stream. I think I saw you in chat. So shout out to you, wherever you are. Welcome to the first cohort Discord server. Really excited for you to be here. If you deposit $100 on 2Bit, you can sign up for the yearly plan on first cohort. We will rebate you the first year, which means I will send you the first year back on PayPal. Little janky. I'm sorry. We've got to build out the whole functionality. And I'm about to have a baby. My wife's about to have a baby. So we're just going to do it the old-fashioned way. I'm just going to rebate you. Like back in the .com, I'll just send you the money back. We'll do a mail-in rebate, right? I will rebate you the first 1 year. So you effectively get in for free. Little jank, but it's all right. That's not the point. And then we're going to build out a system to make all of this a lot more, just a lot better as we go. The baby's here. My wife's, settled in with the baby, and I'm back at work full time. That we're going to start building out a lot more systems. I've already got some web developers that I'm going to talk to that'll help us build out a lot of this stuff. So stay tuned. Really excited about where we're going. Join the Discord server. Join the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. If you haven't already, you can get access to that for 20% off for the next day. At the end of tomorrow, I am going to be wrapping out that sale on CT2A, and it'll go back to its full price of $599. If you want to get access to CT2A, now's the time to do it. This is the #1 course in the entire game to do technical analysis in cryptocurrencies. You absolutely need to sign up for CT2A because it's going to teach you how to do technical analysis so you can do the trade setups that we just did. It was technical analysis that gave us the trade setups that we showed you on today's video. And if you want to learn how to get those trade setups and make those trade setups, then you need to learn from the best. And that is the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. CT2A has over 5,000 students in it learning every day about how to succeed in trading. Let's talk about some of the strategies that we've used today. We talked about gauging the strength of the support and resistance. 120. Are we going to break it? Are we not? That's what we're going to talk about. right? The strength of the Bulls and the Bears. The Bulls are getting stronger, but they're not strong enough yet. We didn't hit there, right? We didn't hit 120, so they're relatively weak. We need to see the movement on that, right? We talked about a game of statistics and probabilities and risk to reward. These are concepts that we're going to go into a lot of detail in here. So if you want to learn about how to do technical analysis so that you can actually succeed in markets and stop losing trades, you should sign up for CT2A with the link in the description box down below. Again, 20% off. You're going to save $120 right now using coupon code JEB20, JEBB20 at checkout, or just by clicking the link. It's already pre-applied. Sign up today. That sale will be ending tomorrow. All right. Let's read chat for just a couple more minutes, and then we're going to wrap it out here. Treasury stock's doing better than alts. Changed my mind. That's true, but what happens is if you go too high on the seesaw on one side, then it ends up coming back the other way. So all those gains that people made over there, they're going to exit them, and then they're going to dump them into alts. I don't do that. I don't sell my Bitcoin and rotate it into alts, but a lot of people do, and so that's going to move the alt space to just go crazy, probably towards the end of this year. Be ready for it. Be ready for it. Pastor, you have made a tremendous impact in my personal life. Thank you. I hope so. Jamax says, sending love, man, money / BTC is spiritual, but the spiritual and soul inside will prevail without. The signs will always be there. Don't miss the little ones, and you traverse through life. That's right. That's right. Being faithful and righteous in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. He wants us to surrender, asking what does God want. That's right. Let's see. Hans quoted Mark 8:36, "For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?" Someone once said, "It is no fool that gives that which he cannot keep to gain that which he cannot lose." Really appreciate you guys for being here. If you enjoyed today's stream, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I love you. I want to see you succeed. I love investing in Bitcoin. I love taking obvious trades. If you're interested, you can sign up for CT2A, first cohort, 2-bit. Helps to support the channel. It's what I do for a living. And it also gives us the resources to give back to you guys. So if you're interested, check it out. If not, that's okay. Share this stream with somebody that you think would enjoy it, and stay tuned for more content. Before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good